All right, we've got the Sun Belt on tap. We have Southern Miss on the road at Louisiana. I don't think that we talked about Louisiana this year. It's always exciting to bring new teams into the fold. The Ragin' Cajuns are 10-point home favorites as it lies right now. Today, it has an over-under of 52.5 points. This game kicks off Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. These two teams haven't met very much. You know, Southern Miss is new to the Sun Belt. They actually won last year and actually have won the last 10 straight meetings. But that goes, that goes back to 1994. So it's not actionable, but it's just fun. Louisiana quarterback Zion Chris, not going to play this week after being carted off the field on Saturday. Chandler Fields is the one that's going to step in and start. Now, it probably was in reaction to the quarterback news, maybe a little bit of market-driven movement as well. I think Southern Miss has kind of been a betting darling as of late, but Chris was expected to be out. Southern Miss still took a lot of movement, down from plus 14.5 to plus 10 at FanDuel. So quite a jump there. Chris was playing pretty well this year. And to be honest, I'm not really a buyer in Chandler Fields. He's a fifth-year guy, never really been able to secure the full-time starting job. He did get that opportunity last year, but then he got hurt, and when he did play, it wasn't super impressive. He was sacked 3 times and threw a pick at Arkansas State when he came in last week. Again, not a lot of confidence in this guy. I don't know how... It is some movement to the points, but I don't know how big it is, though. I don't know that Zion Chris is worth 4.5 points. If that was purely quarterback driven, I don't know that necessarily is true. Anyway, Billy Napier, moving on, really, really hurt this program, man. They were top of the league just year after year after year, 12, 13, and 1. And now they're not doing so well, and it's been kind of rocky for him over in Gainesville. Get him back to Lafayette, man. That's where he belongs. He's at his best from what I've seen, in charge of a smaller program that can recruit really well, especially regionally, instead of at a premier SEC program like Florida. Anyway, the defense has been the problem for Louisiana, and it was not a problem under Napier, but it is a big problem now. They're 95th in points per quality possession allowed, 125th in rushing success rate, 113th in third down conversion rate. All of the things you don't want to see a defense doing, they are doing and doing poorly. On the flip side, Southern Miss, I don't know what they're doing, man. They continue to force this run-pass balance, and maybe it's because they're really inefficient on the ground game, but dude, they're 126 in passing success rate. Billy Wiles is completing less than 53% of his passes, 13 turnover-worthy throws. I don't know why you just continue to put the ball in his hands like they have. And as a result, Southern Miss, 125th in points per quality possession.
Yeah, Brett, you talked about, is Chris worth 4.5 points to the spread? I think I've talked about before. I'm not sure at the college level. It's different in the NFL. At the college level, there's not too many quarterbacks that are worth that many points or really even a field goal. I mean, a field goal, okay, even more than a field goal. Like, to me, I think personally, and I need to do more research and digging into this maybe in the summer, I think the college football betting public overreacts to quarterback injuries. And yes, quarterback's the most important position in all of team sports. That's NFL, college, high school, peewee. I mean, it doesn't matter. It goes all the way down. But I sometimes think that the betting public overreacts and overweights what a quarterback means to a team because, quite frankly, oftentimes, especially with time to prepare, the drop-off just isn't that great. Whereas in the NFL, especially with the elite quarterbacks, there's a huge drop-off between like replacement level and Pro Bowl level and All-Pro and MVP type. So that's just something to keep an eye on, something maybe I need to dig into this summer. But I agree with what you're saying there, and I typically do when we're talking about that kind of conversation. This game, watchability...
Well, just jump here real quick. No, I want to echo that. I'm with you. NFL is player-driven. College is system-driven.
Totally.
We will talk about when we get to the Saturday slate, just a quick sneak peek for that. There will be a game that I talk about in which a couple of games in which the quarterbacks are really weighted to the point spread, in my opinion. Zion Chris is not one of them.
I'm looking forward to the Saturday episode now. See exactly which games you're talking about. I can't wait to dive in. For this game, Brett, watchability scores 3.2. I have Louisiana minus 13. It's an 82% win expectancy. Louisiana was a season high, number 77 in my power ratings last week. Unexpected loss, though, at Arkansas State. Did not look good in that one. The Ragin' Cajuns are now number 88 in my power ratings. They still have the advantage on both sides of the ball, though, and this game is at home. At 2-7, Southern Miss has 2.7 fewer wins than my preseason realistic expectations projected through Week 10. That's fourth worst in the entire country, Brett. Southern Miss is showing up at the bottom of a lot of different lists that I'm putting out every single week, and it's not been good for the Golden Eagles. However, they are coming off their first FBS win of the season against ULM last week. Perhaps they found something. Can they catch Louisiana looking ahead to a road trip to Troy next week? Maybe. I don't know. I don't have a ton about this. Southern Miss has been really disappointing. Louisiana, a team that's had great success in recent years in the Sun Belt, kind of looking to regain their footing, though, under the new regime and in the new world here. So bottom line, Louisiana minus 13. It's an 82% chance that the Raging Cajuns snap their 10-game losing streak, as you said, in this series. First win against Southern Miss since, as you said, Brett, 1993. They don't play every year, but that's a long time, Brett. I think you're probably born around then. I was 92. I think you might be 92, 93, if I'm not mistaken. So literally our whole lives, they have not won in this series.
I will not disclose my birth year. It's not 93.
Okay.
Maybe past that. But anyway, Southern Miss, guys are bad. They're just not good. The defense is even worse than the offense, and I already disclosed their offense. Defensively, they're 99th in red zone scoring allowed, 117th in points per quality possession allowed. I don't think that a 24-7 win over Louisiana Monroe, who's just awful. And then on the other side, Louisiana's inexcusable. It lost to Arkansas State. I cannot figure out Arkansas State. I took a position on them early in the year. We talked about on the podcast that they're turning a corner and their quarterback makes them a lot better. And then they go and get boat raced like 3 games in a row. And I'm like, okay, fine, they're not that good. And then they come out and beat Louisiana, whatever. They're on my do not bet list. Anyway, I think that the number is skewed a little bit because of those two outcomes. There's a lot of recency bias in the market that we can see, especially when the public starts getting involved. I think this number is just possibly a little bit skewed. Like I said, I don't know that the movement from Chris to Fields is worth almost a touchdown, and that's where we're kind of getting at now. If we hit that 6-point move, if we get Louisiana minus 9.5 or better, I'm going the other way and laying the point to the home team. I don't love fading the market all the time. You've done okay if you've done that this year, but 6 points is just entirely too much to go from these two quarterbacks, especially again, I know he said he wasn't very good, and I don't think that he is, but he's still a 5-year experienced quarterback with plenty of starts under his belt. He can operate a system, right? Southern Miss, 3-6 against the spread this year. I don't love bringing these up all the time. I'm not a big trends guy, but they're failing to cover their margin by 8 points per line. That's the 6th worst in the country. So I want to see the minus 9.5. If I don't get it by kickoff, I'd probably lay the 10 with Louisiana at home.